Hello, everyone. Welcome to Court of the Rings on twitch.tv/LotraStream. I'm your community manager, Cordovan, and we've got some news. We launched an expansion this week. We've got Yule Tide next week. We have a game update next week. A whole bunch of stuff. Also, this is the final weekend for our free coupon giveaway. So if you've got anyone in your life who wants a whole bunch of free Lotra stuff, like lots, like enough to get you set up and actually play with your friends and all that other kind of good stuff, use the coupon code Explore Our World. Do it through Sunday, December 7th, which is this Sunday. I'm doing okay. Thank you so much, Fairdold, for asking. It's been a couple of weeks since I've been able to be here with you. I was busy myself for Black Friday and the holiday in the United States, celebrating Thanksgiving with some people and taking part in Record Store Day Black Friday, because I'm a big vinyl nerd, in case you can't guess. That's what I did last Friday. Instead of stream, I was at a record store. Sorry. I did that. I also shopped local. I'm a big fan of shopping local. So I support my local craftspeople, artisans, local small business. Try to keep it local as much as I can for the holidays. So that was my weekend, though. Now, we had a busy week, though, because the other thing I did this past weekend really was a little bit of work getting ready for the launch of Update 46 Kingdoms of Harad. That happened this week. Let's get to the news here. The main thing is the release of Update 46 this week. We have a launch trailer you can find on YouTube. You can also find it on Lotra.com right here in our release notes. You can find out a bunch more about Kingdoms of Harad in the release notes on Lotra.com. You can learn more about the expansion as well. Pick it up if you don't have it yet, but a lot of you do, because we launched it this week and you were ready. The other big thing that happened this week is we raised the level cap of Angmar and Mordor. Our two legendary Veil of the Nine Worlds now have a level cap of 85. You can read a whole bunch more about that as well on Lotra.com. We've also released a schedule of some boosts that we're doing for Angmar and Mordor through this period. So some in-game world boosts that you can read more about on Lotra.com as well. We did a bunch of class work this week. We did a little bit of work on the festival stuff. I believe most of this you've seen on Bullroar, so I'm not going to go through the full release notes now. You can read about the class work and such on your own. That's a lot to read out loud here. We did raise the virtue cap to 100 for level 154 or higher characters. Let's see, what else did we do? We did have to reset the mission quests again for Update 46. Sorry, we know some of you hate it when we do that. Oh, my mic is acting up a little bit here. Sorry. But it's required as part of the work that came out with Update 46. Quick note. This came up because some people have gotten into delvings since the last time we did an expansion. And that is, delvings are available at level cap. So if you were doing delvings at 150, you'll need to be 160 now in order to do delvings. We ran into some player confusion about that this week. And technically that's how delvings have always been set up. But we don't do this kind of level cap thing a lot. So we took some people by surprise with that. I also did have one person who ran into an issue where they accidentally destroyed the introductory item for the level 151, and they should get that again at 160 if you haven't done the introductory quest. But what else? New housing decoration bundles can be purchased in Lelia's Market. There's an article in the Lotra forums on that. Now, we do have one fairly controversial change that went into the update this week, and that is with enhancement rune and tracery packages. We did end up having to put a level 160 cap on the existing tracery and enhancement rune packages. We apologize for having to do that, but we realized after our earlier statement that we couldn't have sort of a specified time period subset of these things that people would just literally want to hoard forever because they would ignore whatever level cap was in place. And we were already hearing it's like, well, I don't want to use it for 160 now. Now I want to use it for like 170 or 180 or whatever in the future. And we can't really do that. But we did want to make sure that you had the ability to utilize these packages that you had acquired for use for Kingdoms of Harad during Kingdoms of Harad. So we did make that change, but we did put the level cap at 160, other than its initial Bull Roarer debut of 150, in order to accommodate that. We apologize for people who were hoping to hoard them and save them for years and years and years and years, but it's not something that we could really support. We did need to make this change, and so we have made that change here for Update 46, and we apologize for those who are sad about that, or perhaps did some extra work ahead of Update 46, thinking beyond, long into the future. There's also some work done on PVMP. I'm not going to read all of that right now, but you've been seeing that on Bull Roarer and such as well. One thing that we're working on is we did add some World French, World German, and Trade French and German chat channels. This is in the English, French, and German clients. We do have a few bugs, though, that we're working on. Particularly with the French World channel, it's not operating correctly. Or not French, but actually the German one is the one that's not operating correctly. And we also have had some kind of other bug reports related to that, so we'll get that sorted out. But we were able to bring that into the game. You'll find it in the filters. Mine at least was on by default. You can click it off if you want to, and it's an option for the chat channels there. A couple of known issues that I want to bring up here before I move on to other news. We're going to be working on a game update for next week that'll correct hopefully most, if not all, of these things. But the Team Amir of Jirat Manesh reputation reward quests are bestowing at an earlier faction level than they are supposed to. That'll be fixed next week. We're working, to correct a bug that is causing French translation for some Update 46 content to display in English or display incorrectly, like give you a TBD kind of a thing. This is going to be corrected with the game update planned for next week. This was not a matter of not having the localization, it just something behind the scenes kind of got off kilter, and so it's not displaying correctly, and we're going to get that back, and as a result, then all that French text is just going to sort itself out during the patch. We're working to correct a bug causing an issue with connecting to the German World Chat on a German client, and we apologize for that. We're also working to correct, this is the biggest issue that happened with the release of Update 46, which is a legendary items bug that I'm going to get into here in just a second. We're working on a game update for next week to correct an issue with legendary items not always displaying their traceries and levels correctly that arose with the release of Update 46 today. Now let me just actually pop that onto the screen here, and let's give it a little bit more attention. Main takeaway from this, if you just don't want to hear me drone on about this at all, main takeaway is we're going to fix it next week. It's a display bug. The data's still there, thankfully. And if you don't have to mess with your LIs between now and Wednesday, just don't. Just let it sit. It'll be fine. You don't need to do any of this. As a matter of fact, if you don't have to, I would suggest not. Just let it sit in its existing state. We'll get this corrected next week, and then everything will be good. However, we do have, for those who can't wait, we do have some options here. So we're working on a game update for next week to correct an issue with some legendary items not displaying traceries and levels correctly. If you have an issue with your legendary items, because it's not all of them, it's probably something like certain level bands or certain traceries within certain level bands. Whatever it's causing, something's causing it, but it's not 100%. For players intending to reforge, or if you want to adjust your legendary items, we've created a coupon code for up to 3 tracery reclamation scrolls. What we've discovered is that if you use a tracery reclamation scroll, dump all your stuff back into your inventory and then replace it, it'll get largely solved. Now, we know that there is still some display issue with an enhancement rune level after doing that. That'll also get corrected on Wednesday. But if you don't have to mess with your legendary items, just don't. You'll probably be fine, and then it'll get fixed and sorted and all back to normal on Wednesday. But if you do need to use one, it's DEC Tracery. Deck Tracery is the coupon code. This is actually going to be available through February 27th, so bonus plus, I guess, on the bug. You'll get the chance to use it perhaps later on for free, rather than having to, spend some script or whatever on it. Just a quick note on the convenience, if you do need to find yourself dumping out all of your enhancement runes and such on your, or traceries rather, on your legendary item, if you ungather, if you don't have auto gather on your bags, it'll just populate into your inventory, and yeah, it's a lot of traceries, but then you don't have to worry about sorting which traceries you'd slotted from a bag that may contain other traceries. So check off the bags before you use the tracery reclamation scroll, is my recommendation. IMO. Okay, let me take a look at chat here real quick before I move on to some other news. Champs are boss now. Okay. Question about supporter packs. Can they be tweaked in the future to add more stuff into the lower tiers? Well, you bring up a concern which leads us to typically not do that, which is that if we were to add something to the lower tier packages, what would we do for all the people who have purchased one up to this point? There are options maybe to redistribute it or things like that, but in general, we're not likely to adjust packages like that once they've gone out to the public. I guess we've done it maybe once or twice over the years where we added some things to expansion bundles, but for the most part we haven't done that, and it's because there's a lot of things you have to consider once you start messing with things that people have already purchased. Typically what we'd rather do is make sure we listen to your feedback, figure out what it is that you would rather see next time, and then start including that moving forward. Yeah, same about the delving rewards until the T3 of the raid releases. That goes all the way back to an article that Orion had put together with the release of Delvings. You can find that in our guide to Delvings on Locher.com. Judger Artful has a question. You encountered a purchase issue during Black Friday. There are some people, we've seen your reports in the forums and Discord about that, where your checkout flow wasn't properly displaying a discount. We worked throughout the week to address that, the store people did, and then anyone who encountered a payment issue, like yourself, make sure you've got a ticket in with customer support through help.standingstonegames.com. Contact support, fill out the ticket, send it to account support. They're going to presumably mass refund or mass reconcile any people who found themselves in that state. So, sorry, I don't know, Little Redhead, on the kinship message of the day bug. What's the bug? You know, I live in a sea of bug reports and that. This one isn't ringing a bell. I apologize. It's true. We do have a kind of an initial crash to desktop that happens when the reward track resets, and that happened again this time. It's one of the long-standing engineering bugs that we've been playing whack-a-mole with and trying to resolve, but is still an issue. So typically, you'll see that initial crash when the LI track updates, when you log into the world for the first time, and then it doesn't do it again. That's also not for everybody, but it's for a lot of people, and it's something that we're hoping to resolve. What does DEC stand for, Cord? Well, it stands for December. Although I actually, even inside of the office after we published it, we were like, you know what? We should have just named it D-Tracery. D-Tracery is a way better word than December Tracery shortened. Should have just been D-Tracery, but it wasn't. It's Deck Tracery, DEC. ETA on refunds, I don't know, other than to say that I know that we've got the people involved in the kind of platform and store flow and all that doing the work to put together the list and do the work. So I would expect not too long before that gets resolved. You update the message, but it doesn't stick, is the kinship message of the day bug. Okay. I have to admit, I don't update my kinship message of the day very much, so this is not a issue that I particularly encounter. Yeah. Okay, let me get to a little bit more news. Now, I brought this up at the start of the show, but I really, really, really want you to I want to encourage you to take a moment this weekend and think to yourself, do I have a friend that I need to tell to create a Lochura game account and apply this coupon code to, so I can get them to join me in the next 6 months or something like that. Next year, 2 years. However, I don't even know if we're ever going to do one of these again. We might. We certainly have done these to date, but there's no promises there. So, you've got through Sunday, explore our world, and you get all this stuff for free, including the quest pack for War of Three Peaks, Fate of Gundabad, Mordor, Minas Morgul, etc. So absolutely take advantage of this. You've got through Sunday, and make sure that you use this. I always feel so bad. Just about every time we do this, we'll get some forum post and a couple of Discord posts, things like that afterwards, of people saying, I missed it. I literally missed it by like 20 hours. Come on, can't you just extend it? Can't you just give me the code? And the answer is no. Because there's always going to be that person who shows up 20 hours late. So use it now. December 7th. Sunday. Explore our world. Enter in the Lochura store. That's all you got to do. But please do it. And enjoy. The other thing I wanted to mention is give you all an update on Extra Life. So, I have gone through all, except I saw 3 that came in over the last 24 hours. I have gone through the entirety of the Extra Life surveys that I have received. So if you donated and you filled out a survey, except for the 3 people who just did it in the last 24 hours or so, you've got your stuff. I've emailed you, I've sent you a Discord message, I sent you an email. You should have your codes. If you don't have your codes, get in touch with me through the forums, Discord. I've even gotten a few help tickets. You can do that. They'll reassign it to me, and they know that anything Extra Life related goes to Cordovan. But you can skip the formal filling out the email process and just ping me on Discord or something and say, yo, I didn't get my stuff, and then we'll get it sorted for you. But yesterday, I did all the group incentive giveaways for Dungeons & Dragons Online. And then today, or maybe tomorrow, depending on how today goes, I'm going to be doing the group incentive giveaways on the Lord of the Rings Online side. And that includes 3 people to receive codes for Legacy of Morgoth. We're not doing Kingdoms of Harad, sorry. Legacy of Morgoth, but we get to do 3 of them as a result. So that's pretty sweet. And I'll be doing that giveaway here this weekend. Like I say, maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow. It takes a little while because I'm mailing out, well, let's see here, 50, 50, 25, so 125 points codes, and then 3 expansion codes. And that takes a little while to just go through that list. But it'll be randomly selected. Just all the surveys have a number, and then I just roll randomly, random number generation until they're all selected. And that's how it goes. So, really, this is the basic end of our Extra Life campaign after this weekend. The campaign does continue through the end of the year, so if you'd like to make a donation to Extra Life, you absolutely still can. You absolutely can still get your incentives through the end of the year. And honestly, if it's early next year and you get in touch with me because you didn't do it, that's fine too. I'll get you your stuff. But try to get it done, because we're done really after this weekend, other than catching up on any stragglers that are late filling out surveys and things, or any kind of last minute donations that come in the coming weeks. So I can roughly do mathing on the fly. Depends how much mathing we're talking about. So my son is taking an advanced algebra class in middle school, but advanced algebra class. And they've, ever since I was in school, they started new math. They call it new math. It's been around for a while, but it's new to me. And I never learned all that new math stuff. So I'm looking at his advanced algebra and going, okay, so I guess I'm not good enough at math to even know what I'm doing in middle school these days. It's just been that long. Except that I actually could still figure it out. Once I saw the context and was able to kind of translate it to how I knew it, I was still able to do it. But still, yeah, you lose that math stuff pretty quick if you don't keep up with it. This is something I learned having a now 14-year-old, and it's not that new. But at some point, since I went to school, keeping in mind I'm in like 51 now, they changed the way you write all that stuff. Like, math is written differently than it was when I was going to school. So, anyway, back to the news. We've got some stuff happening throughout the game here. December's a busy time, not just for community events, not just for our expansion, but also for the launch of the 16th LI Reward Track. Hope you claimed your rewards. The Spring Festival Encore is now wrapped up as well, but this weekend we have got a 25% XP boost. That runs through the 7th. We also have Hop Nanigans back. That runs through the 7th. And then starting next Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern, the Yule Tide Festival debuts. The Yule Tide Festival is going to run through January 4th this year and has a whole bunch of new rewards. We're also bringing back the Yule Tide Hobbit gifts, and the Yule Tide Hobbit gifts is going to have new rewards as well. I can't show them to you today. I apologize. But I cannot show them to you today. We will have our guide for the Yuletide Festival updated for Thursday of next week. However, I can tell you we have got arguably one of the cutest darn pets I have ever seen in my life. That's going to be coming out with it, called the Tome of the Jingle Turtle. And the Jingle Turtle is for festivity tokens or mithril. Also, for festivity tokens will be the Marshmallow Roasting Stick. For Yuletide Festival tokens, gifts will include Cozy Jingle Cloak, Cozy Jingle Boots, Cozy Jingle Mitts, Hat, Scarf, Overclothes, Cozy Jingle Steed, Caparison, Headpiece, Saddle, Tail, Cozy Roasting Fire Pit, Cozy Potted Tree, Cozy Fire Pit Stool. So I think you can sense a theme happening here. Snow-laden King's Effigy Statue, Snow-laden Orb and Sword Statue, Large Spike of Ice, Icy Monolith, Large Cluster of Ice Shards, Snowy Dwarf Wall, Snowy Palisade, and that's what we got for Yuletide. There's a hooded one, cloak as well. And for new Yuletide Hobbit presents, I'm seeing names such as Snow-Dusted Draught Steed, Tome of the Ivory Mural Herding Dog, Training Snow Dummy, Snow-Laden Statue of Bulwer Took, Snow-Laden Statue of Luthien and Gil-galad. Those are separate. Stuffy Mammoth, Blue Faceted Crystal Brazier? How do you say that? I don't know. Not the one you wear, but the one that's got it on the ground with the light and such. And Blue Faceted Crystal thing I just described. Tome of the Snow-Dusted Farmyard Horse, Tome of the Crimson Deepclaw Whelp, Snow-Laden Dwarf Statue, Snow-Laden Statue of Celebrimbor, Alpine Snowman, and Red Cushy High-Backed Gondorian Couch. And that's the Yuletide gifts. On top of that, I hear the Coasty Roasting Fire Pit has the potential. I think there's maybe some bug with it yet, because I don't think it's passed testing yet. I think that's happening this weekend. But assuming it passes testing, the Cozy Roasting Fire Pit is going to have some kind of interaction, some interactive thing you can do with it. That's what's up with Yule Tide. So all that'll get updated in the guide. I don't know if we're going to have screenshots for all that, but we're going to have some screenshots. We'll have a list of rewards. It'll be in the guide next week. Yule Tide launches on the 10th, runs through January 4th, and is going to be a good time. Am I cold? Yes. New England is under a cold snap this week. We had our first kind of snowfall of the year on Tuesday. Schools were closed in that, even though we really only got like a dusting of snow, but some ice. Kind of ice and water, sleet, slush. It was a mess all week. And now it's been cold. It's like 20 degrees outside, which, okay, 20 degrees Fahrenheit, not that bad. But certainly colder than I am used to at this point of the year. So... a hedgehog mini golf game where the hedgehog is the ball. I like this idea, although you wouldn't want to hit a hedgehog. You'd have to encourage them which direction to go or something like that. XP boost isn't showing or stacking with the one on Angmar. Now that's a good point. That's actually a very good point. Well, one, we don't do these typical bonuses, don't go onto the legendary worlds, do they? But two, they wouldn't stack anyway because it will already be in place because of the boost we put in with the update for a while. So, right, Angmar and Mordor aren't going to see that extra 25% because you already have it. Could we bring back the Mirkwood Patrons Coffer? Yes, we are aware that there is demand for the Mirkwood Patrons Coffer, and I can't announce when it'll come back, but we absolutely intend to bring it back in the future, and hopefully there'll be quite a bit of excitement when we do that. Speaking of sales, however, we do have sales all... Let me put this up on the page, because we kicked off our Yule Tide savings this week. Now, we just got done with Black Friday. Thank you so much, everyone who was able to support us for Black Friday. It looks like it was a pretty successful sale all around, but Yule Tide savings is here. This is 75% off this week. War Steed upgrades and cosmetics, so if you ever been thinking about getting any of that, now's the time. Half off River Hobbit bundles as well, and 35% off homesteading coins. This is through December 11th. The other thing I would just mention is that we've got quite the coupon code this week for the free one. And I Run. And I Run is the coupon code. It'll get you a free 10% run speed boost times 5 for 6 hours. Would you like to be 10% faster going through Kingdoms of Harad for the next 30 hours? Probably. And I Run will get it to you for free. All right. The other thing I want to get to on news before I kind of get in game here, and I realize I've been chatting for a while, but we've got a heavy news day here today, is that we open up some free transfers this week, and I want to make sure we bring that out as well. So we have made free transfers available from Orcrist to both Grand and Meriadoc. Also, transfers from Meriadoc to Grand and from Glamdring or Peregrine to Sting remain free. Those were already free. That had technically ended in November, but we kept it going, and that's going to continue now through this. These transfers will remain free until the release of Update 46.1 in January. Please note that with the release of Update 46.1, we will be restoring our prior homesteading coin return rate of 90% when selling homes. However, houses that are closed automatically as part of the transfer process will continue to return 100% of their homesteading coin cost. So if you let the system do it, you'll get all your writs back. If you abandon and sell it yourself after update 46.1, you'll get your prior 90% return rate. So don't do that unless you really want to for some reason. And why are we doing this? Well, one, this is related to the free transfers. We need to move on from that in terms of housing, because if we want to introduce, let's say, new housing in 2026, then we can't have people basically just refunding 100% of their old houses and not buying the new ones. That's kind of how it works, unfortunately. So we do need to go back to that 90% return rate for selected abandoned selling of homes. However, that's going to be update 46.1. You got plenty of time to do it. It's not until January. So if you want to make any adjustments to kind of where you are, you've got until update 46.1 to do it for free. Otherwise, it'll remain free as part of the transfer process. For update 46.1, I can't put together the release notes for you right now. I would say it's generally bug fixing for Kingdoms of Harad. There's notes that I just don't know myself yet that'll probably be known more on Monday after things are checked into builds process and do all that sort of thing. But we'll be fixing some duplicate map notes for Abadrazig, the Bladehorn, and Keegan. Fixing some quest items in Keegan Floating, correcting some text in Ansharu, addressing an issue, the one about the Timamir of Jirat Manesh reputation reward. We've reworked the reward quest tiers for the Hamat renewed rewards to reflect the need to advance from ally through celebrated. That was the too low thing that we talked about earlier. Fix issues related to completing delvings on several Idigal missions. That kind of thing. So a lot of kind of smaller bug fixes, polish, things that are the known issues. That's going to be the bulk of update 46.0.1. That and anything for Yule Tide, which kicks off then on Thursday, the next day. And yeah, that's pretty much the bulk of update 46.1. The farming recipe for chickpeas. The farming recipe for chickpeas now properly gives out chickpeas for its critical output. It was giving out garbanzo beans. No, I'm kidding. I don't know what it was giving out. I am going through chat real quick. I am not familiar with that particular golden armor of the Etenian Heights, Karanirka. I will have to look that one up. I am not familiar with that set of reward. I will have to do some digging. I have no idea what the pricing of future housing might be. That's not something I could talk about today, sorry. Alright, I think we're good. Have I actually talked? Oh, I talked long enough that I went back to CareGen. Let's fix that and get in game here in just a second. So, you are going to want to start the latest chapter of Song of Waves and Wind by going to Daralaha the Meeting Hall in the city of Umbar. Yep, if you've been following through Song of Waves and Wind, you'll know that you've kind of been out and about, but you're going back to Umbar to get started here. It's true also that we don't have a direction this time. Jaith is the person you've been speaking throughout Song of Waves and Wind, and that continues here with Kingdoms of Harad. We did get it in the release notes, but we didn't get like a in-game notification to tell you to go to Jaith. So I think the team perhaps was like, well, surely by this point you're going to remember, except I didn't. I know there was a forum thread where people were like, "Oh, where do I go?" So if that's you, this is where you go. You got to go to Jaith here, the Darlaha Meeting Hall in Umbar to get started with Chapter 14.1, Whispers of Wizardry, the final arc in Song of Waves and Wind Tier. Kinship calendars, I don't know what the status of that one is. Because of our release plans and just how busy we've been, I have not really heard anything about kinship calendars since August, September. I know that it had some bugs yet to be sorted, some kind of implementation processes to be done, so I couldn't tell you exactly where we sit on that right now. But if we can bring it out, we certainly intend to. Has the day come at last? Jaeth looks about furtively. Rumors abound that the wizard Ikanush now approaches the city. We guard of Umbar trade not in gossip, but Belendar's soldiers return from Ikoban with news of him, and they say he will perform feats of magic for any who ask. These are dangerous times, as you well know, and the kindred of the coin might have need of such feats if they're to keep people safe. Will you go to the Waterway Market to the southeast and see if anyone has yet seen Inkanush? The rumormonger Tasadi often holds court there. Yo, that guy, he'll tell you anything, man. He'll just say you don't want to talk around that guy. Alright. So we're heading off to the kind of southeast here. You know what, I have to admit, it has been a little while since I, too, have been in Umbar. I've been out in Hamat, and when I first had to go back, I was like, okay. Think back to how did you navigate around Umbar just a couple of months ago? Took me a little while to find it. Bring back that memory. But I think, fingers crossed, we'll see. I'm mostly there-ish. Oh, you guys are saying kinship calendar is in? Oh, did I miss that? I don't think I saw that in the release notes. Did we not include that? Oh, also, I am not hearing audio. Why am I not hearing audio? Because it's set to the wrong thing. Sorry about that, people. This should be this. Make sure my... Okay, I am picking it up on default speakers. I don't know if you were hearing game audio and I wasn't, or if neither of us were hearing game audio until just now. Maybe let me know in chat. I'm actually running... I don't normally do this, but this microphone actually has a audio pass-through, and I'm using that right now, just kind of due to the setup I'm using. It's kind of nice because I can put some of my own voice back in the monitor so I hear how I sound a little bit better, but it gets a little weird sometimes in Windows. So, okay, well, it's good to know that when I set it to that, it does indeed play through XSplit at least. So,
rumors are like water, my friend.
whispers about the approaching wizard have already spread throughout the market, and few are interested in what I have to say about him, for they can hear these tidings everywhere. I trade in news and information. What can I do? Alas for Tasadi, once the most accomplished rumormonger in all of Umbar, is now finished. Fine then, go to the south and listen to the whispers of my former customers. Oh, I'm actually just speaking with them. Actually, no, that isn't the same. Okay, so we want to... I don't know if this just counts in here or what. Huh. Okay. Where do I need to go? Small oh, there's some people to the south. Are these who I need to talk to? No. Okay, no, it is this cluster. I'm just not listening correctly, apparently. Let's see. Maybe this group? Yep, here we go.
This talk is getting out of hand, if you ask me. What use could we have for a wizard?
I did not trust the cultists of the All-Seeing. I won't trust this wizard either. Okay, so now... who's the next one? Now it's maybe this group. What value a wizard? I have heard of the arrival of a wizard heralds the onset of good fortune. Wherever he walks, golden coins are said to fall from his pockets. Okay. Why, hello.
There you are, my friend. I wondered if you would come to see me here.
Let me adjust my audio a little bit. I believe the VO needs to go up a smidge and the music needs to go down a smidge. And we'll take up master a bit too.
There you are, my friend. I wondered if you would come to see me here.
I've overheard one or two fanciful beliefs about me and my order while I rested here. You ask the wizard where he keeps his golden coins. He chuckles. I see you've heard some. Did you hear, too, that I apparently possess the ability to take on forms enough to put Bjorn himself to shame? Alas, it is not so. Still, the Umbari were so eager to see this impressive figure they've imagined that they paid me little mind, and I've entered the city with little fanfare. I have been untroubled, or at least not disturbed. The threat posed by the Tharduth and their Utagai warriors fills me with unease.
This is not the first time I have come to Shagana or to Umbar Baharbale.
Was not Gandalf or Mithrandir last time he visited here? At that point it was Ikanush, by the people who dwelled in these lands, and let it be so again while we here remain. There is a commotion at the gate. If you are agreeable, see what's up.
Let us see what has caused this commotion at the gate, and if we might be of some service in ending it. What seems to be the problem here?
I am not sure when the new cosmetic outfit slots will be available to purchase, but I would imagine as soon as we can. You know, this is something that you want to buy, and we are happy to let you buy. So as soon as we can get that available, I believe
No
we will.
legitimate ruler is turned away, stranger.
No legitimate
But
ruler
the
is turned
kindred of the
away.
coins has given us strict commands regarding pretenders.
You dare! Hold, my friends. Our enemies would rejoice to see blood spilled upon the threshold of Umbar Baharbale. Give them not this satisfaction without reason.
Give them not the satisfaction. Okay.
Who is this old man?
I explain that Ikanush is a wizard both powerful and wise, and a friend to Umbar. If you vouch for this man, Stampion, then I believe he is as you say. I have heard of your deeds, after all.
A friend of yours is a friend of the city, and of the kindred. But this Misadi claims to be a queen.
It is no mere claim, guardsmen. I am the Shara of renewed Hamad, and I am here to speak with your ruler.
Take me
Then
to
speak,
your leader.
Sharamizadi, for she is here.
Lady Hamelhak.
Please, accept my apologies for the caution of my city. These are dangerous times.
Should not this meeting take place inside the city? It could then occur with the rest of your ruling kindred in attendance, Harmelok.
This must be your wizard.
I don't know if he's mine exactly, but he tends to hang around sometimes. It's fortunate that his wisdom aligns with mine, or I would disregard his opinion. But it is not seemly to leave foreign dignitaries on the doorstep. Sharamizadi and her assemblage will enjoy the comforts of the Citadel of Winds while I summon the rest of the kindred. Attend our council. These matters affect us all. Rahazi. My mother, Girhazi, asked that I join Sharamizadi's forces to oppose the Empire of Ordok, and I keep safe my homeland of Ambaru. And so I have. Already there has been fighting. The Battle of For Hamat ended in victory of a sort, but the villain Barshud escaped with his life. Sharamizadi gifted me the blade of one of her Sabuzuri, and I will wield it on her behalf for the good of renewed Hamat, and for the protection of Ambarul and Iridir. We should not delay. We're late. We're joining the team's meeting like 3 minutes late. We're already
We
sitting
have
there.
all suffered at the hands of Ordah. We have a shared enemy. Let us stay true to our shared purpose.
Your two lands hold more than one foe in common, Misadi. Overlook not the danger posed by the Tharduth, those awakened servants of Morgoth.
Steal your tongue, wizard. Can we not fight one battle at a time?
Ha! Lothog will fight as many as he must, and welcome even more.
Any who fought at the Red Waterfall will know the danger posed by the Tharduth. But for now, they are quelled. The Ordekai still have designs upon our lands.
The kindred drove them from Umbar. Perhaps Mizadi should do the same for her city?
This she has done. Goranzar belongs now to renewed Hamat.
The Ordahai are in retreat. I followed some of them south as they fled. They bear little resemblance to the soldiers from whom we wrested this city. They are defeated.
How often has a defeated enemy leapt once more into battle, Tathata? They cannot be allowed to regroup and threaten war once again. If Mizadi allowed this, she could not claim the title of Shara, unless I misunderstand her ways.
Now you see why I have come to treat with your kindred of the coins. I will pursue the Ordahai into their southern lands and destroy them. I ask for soldiers of Umbar to join my armies on this mission.
How many warriors do you expect us to give you?
A neighbor with an interest in friendship would send as many as he could.
Perhaps. How many would he send Ithi believed the two parties would not long be neighbors.
Careful, dwarf.
Numero, please.
It is as you said, Mizadi. We hold an enemy in common. Umbar can spare as many soldiers as you wish for this important purpose. Unless my kindred objects.
There's some political games, some personship
You have
happening here.
become very trusting of late, Harmelak.
Will my companions and I be welcome on this journey as well, Mizadi?
You and your companions are, of course, welcome to accompany my forces as we move south. You've proven yourself a mighty ally. I know little of wizards, but if your friend has powers to lend, I invite him to use them openly. Renewed Hamat welcomes you and your companions. My army will march south from the Ikerban Valley into Murgala, the Ridge of Plenty. We'll put an end to Barshud and prevent the Ordekai from ever again threatening our lands. Alright, now we're going to talk to Harmelak here. I know what your wizard seeks, Stampion. He believes these ancient creatures, the Tharduth, remain a danger. I have heard the report of Kinsman Belendor's soldiers about the fighting of Utug-Bur, and to me it sounds like madness, the ravings of a frightened man, caught in the middle of a battle they can't understand. Azagath perished at the hands of the Tharduth, and will not emerge from the darkness of Utug-Bur. But so too did those terrible creatures, is it not so? Who is it that remains to endanger us? Ordok remains. This has always been the true threat, not the ancient demons from which your wizard would have us cower. That is why Umbar will support Mazadi's pursuit of her foe south across the Ikerban and into Morgala. We are allies with this, for Ordok threatens us all. Indeed. How have you been liking the expansion? Someone in chat is saying, how has everyone been enjoying it? I have to admit, other than today, I have been a bit busy since we released it this week. I have not had an open gaming night for fun times.
Wrong.
I would be curious how you've been enjoying it. Harmelak is wrong. Ordok is not powerless. It is true, but the gravest danger facing these lands, and indeed all in Middle-earth, belongs to the Tharduth. How can this Umbari woman believe the Utug-Bur might be the only dwelling the Tharduth ever fashioned in all of Shigana's reaches? Before I came to the city, I dispatched some of our friends to travel north into Herondor. Legolas, Gimli, and the Sons of Elrond will ensure the Tharduth and their Utagai warriors did not go that way to endanger Gondor. Our road lies south.
We will not travel alone. Glorfindel has agreed to accompany us on our southward journey.
We are picking up Glorfy and Urmak. Okie dokie, so now I need to go to Urmak, if I can.
Umbar is a free city at last.
It's not this one though. Where do I need to go? I need to go to... Where's Urmak? Oh, that's where it is. I saw you. You're in Kudzagan. Or Imhular. Imhular. Yeah, okay. So, you need to kind of get yourself over there, which means probably going to Jurish, maybe? I think. Unless I can actually go all the way to whatever that is. Jurish I can do that. Where do I put it now? I thought I had Jurish. What did I do with my, oh well. must have gotten rid of my milestone at some point here since last we met. Well, that's fine. Let me go to the other stable master then and try to figure this one out. Now, where is the other stable master? That would be... I want to go to, presumably, the west gate. Okay.
Fair winds to you!
Oh, actually, probably east gate, huh? Alright. Ooh, going to Bloody Eagle and taking the mission horse. You know, I don't know that I've really... It's amazing how much you don't think about. I don't know that I've ever thought about doing
May
that.
the seas be calm and the winds fair.
Here we go. I can get to Jurish from here. I will have to practice that. That's a good tip there. You can go to the Bloody Eagle Tavern, which I have in my list, and then you can go to take the mission horse to Jurish. Yeah. I've been camped here because I've been using these tasks, turning these in prior to the release of Kingdoms, or Kingdoms of Harad here. So I'm just going to, I'll just do the ride because I don't remember which town this is. Oh, Galburu.
Today is a good day.
Here we go. All right. It's true. A lot of people are going to be playing Kingdoms of Harad this weekend. You know, we did just launch here on Wednesday. So people have things like work and things. Which is why it's good that we haven't gotten too far through the story here. Just a little bit of a tease for you this Friday. I'll be back next Friday. Now, you know, we've got our own holiday vacations coming up here towards the end of the month. So I'm going to be taking a few weeks off of the stream later here in December. Happy to say this new computer is working good. Uh-oh. That looks a cliff. You know, oh, okay, not that much more. You know about me and cliffs. How do I get down to the road? Well... Oh, fine. Actually, there's no road here. What is this? There will be a road. But there is not a road. Oh, there's the road. This is actually a work computer, is the answer to that. My personal computer remains kind of old and crusty, but just I guess 3 or so weeks ago now, I picked up a brand new work computer for the first time in, honestly, a while. And it's much, much nicer. And as a result, I no longer need to use my personal computer for any work-related task, which is a good thing, of course. But it also means, and the reason I was using it for streaming is because it had a better video card and was just much nicer. Well, now this one's much nicer because it's got like a 4090 Super Ti in it. It's like a, I guess I would just say a Dell, kind of some kind of Dell pre-built. But it's rock solid and it's running great. It's running great. Got Windows 11 on it, and like I say, just streaming quite excellently here. I ran into an issue, though, last week on the Dungeons & Dragons Online side, where my XSplit software had to cause me a huge headache. And it's all because I'm doing that initial install and initial setup on the new computer still. Every time I run into something new, I'm like, oh, right. At some point, I flipped XSplit to do GPU rather than CPU priority to prevent severe frame rate issues. Didn't catch that one until I was live. I actually don't know. DJ, is it true that Windows 11 can play CD-ROM disc games? You had read that Windows 10 took that away. I don't actually know. I haven't tried. That's a really I'm very curious to know the answer to that. As a retro person. They're kind of getting rid of those drives, though, altogether, aren't they? Like, you don't really see physical media drives in pre-built computers. Like, this one doesn't have one. You have to get some kind of USB dealio. Okay, so we have got Numuru, Mizadi, Razal, Lungana, Zuhul. Oh yeah, and like you say, there's the new missions, peeps. And a nice task list. Oh, maybe I should... Is there a milestone? Maybe I should... Milestone here. Yep, right here. Let's do that.
I am pleased to have your aid and support, friend. And that of the wizards in Kanush.
We reclaimed Kuranzar, but it was not enough. Even possessing the crown of renewed Hamat isn't enough, for Barshud remains alive to threaten my young kingdom and its people. We'll only be safe when Barshud has been slain, and the Empire of Ordok knows the courage in our hearts and strength of our sword. Even now, my soldiers heed this call. Stand by the gate and look for the warriors that come from Kuranzar to join me on the southward road into danger. That is where we are going to leave Court of the Rings here this week. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching the show. I'll be back next Friday with more. Hope you're enjoying Kingdoms of Hamat. Please do use that coupon code Explore Our World through Sunday if you have not. Let your friends, family, loved ones. If you have a dog that knows how to play Lotro, make sure the dog uses the coupon. And I'll see you next week. Have fun, everyone. Talk to you soon.